Thank you all for coming. I just love my yoga. Okay. Hokey pokey. Brilliant. Welcome to our yoga set this evening. Thank you all for your input. It's been so much fun putting this set together because you guys all picked it. So this one is dedicated to all you beautiful people that come and share our Monday night yoga practice. So this is dedicated to you. I honour each and every one of you. And thank you all for joining us weekly. It's my absolute pleasure and joy to share yoga practice with you. So we're going to start this evening on our feet. And we're just going to have our feet slightly, maybe just about hip width apart. We're going to ground down and we're just going to start off with some swinging arms. So just stand. Be really free with this. Just let your body just swing. Just really relax and let your body have a lovely, nice, loose swing. Just to start to wake up. And obviously if your hands want to just tap the back of your kidneys, just knock on your body, stimulate anything in your body. Wonderful. And then we're just going to gently stop swinging and we're just going to do some little claps. So what you're doing here is you're stimulating your acupressure points in your hands. We're just clapping, we're just waking up our hands. And then just give your legs a little pat and a rub and a tap. Just waking up your legs. Wonderful. Just bringing that energy into your legs. Okay, and let's just have a little shake. So just couple of deep breaths in and really let your body have a lovely shake and just release. So we're moving into the spring, guys. In a couple of weeks we're moving into the spring, so it's time to start shaking off the winter. Shaking it all off, getting ourselves ready to be out there again in the sun. Cannot wait. Okay, so feet maybe hip width apart, facing forwards. We're just going to take some deep breaths in and we're going to follow our hands up and over and down the back, and the opposite hand, up we go. Look at your hand. Let your body quite freely twist. Don't be afraid to really draw that energy in. Invite that air into the body. Lovely. If any noises come out, team, you know the drill. Let it all out. Just bring it to the mat. However you're feeling, whatever is going on is all good. It is perfect. It is all perfect. Lovely. Okay. Bow and arrow next. So from the, you can still face front, but I'm just showing you from the side. So breathing in. As we breathe out, we're going to pull our elbow back. Keep your elbow up. And just turn and look behind you. So again, stay nice and flexible around this area here. So breathing out, in we come, out we go. Now, as you're doing this, if you want to lift one leg, you can just lift the heel off the floor. Is probably your safest initial bet. And then if you're feeling it, start to lift the whole of the leg up, the knee up, down we go, in we come. Out, lifting, in, out we go, in we come, out we go, in we come. One more each side just to balance us up. There we go. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And that's our lovely little warm up. And then we're just going to take our feet to just slightly more than hip width apart. And we'll have our feet facing outwards like so. So just open them out and just drop yourself into your knees. And we're going to start off with a beautiful breath sequence. We're going to do a round of dragon breath here. So let's start off. We're going to breathe in, bring your hands in. And then out we go. If you feel you want to bob down as you're breathing out, if you just want to drop into those knees, do whatever feels right to you. As always, in we come again. Filling up those lungs, expanding, 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 expanding. Out we go. Over to the side. Lovely, lovely, lovely. In we come. Filling up, filling up, filling up, filling up. And then round to the side. Okay, in we come. We're grasping behind. And then we're just taking ourselves over. In we come. Out we go to the front. In. Center. In again. Up and off to the side. In we come. Round. Into the center. And up to the back. Okay, we're going to do one more round of that, guys. Let's just hang here for a moment. Just hang if you're feeling it. If you want to do it like so, you can just pull up behind. But if you're feeling it, allow yourself to really, really, really hang down. So in we come. To the front. Breathing in and up we go. Drawing in. Feeling, let's just get rid of any stale air. We don't want blow out any stale air. Round to the side. Lovely, lovely. In we come. Clasp those hands behind. Drop yourself down. Lovely. In we come. To the front. In we come. Up to the sky. Woohoo! In we come. Over to side. In we come. Round to the side. Twisting, twisting, twisting that body. In we come. And then we're going to clasp our hands. Over we go. And we're just going to hang here for a moment. So just hang there for a moment. If you can, just pull your hands up towards the sky. Just release your back. Keep your knees slightly bent. You don't want to be locking out here. Stay really nice and soft in your knees. Wonderful. And then we're just going to release our hands. Bring your hands down to the front. And then just very, 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 very gently, just if you're feeling it, allow your knees just to, allow your legs to stretch just a tiny little bit more. Again, not locking out your knees. Always keep your knees a little bit of softness there in your knees. Don't overextend your body. And just feel into your body. Feel what your body needs. My body's just having a little rock forwards and back. You may feel you want to just have a little sway from side to side. Really take this time. This is your time to feel into whatever you need this evening. The next hour is yours. You are giving yourself. You are giving back to your beautiful, beautiful, beautiful being. See what starts to come on, just starting to sway, sway, sway. Lovely, again, to be in a forward fold of some description. Keep your knees nice and soft. Wonderful. Come back to centre. Deep breath in there. Gentle bend of the knees. Press into the feet. Roll up your spine and allow your head just to come up last. Wonderful. Give those legs a shake. Shaky, 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 shaky. Give those legs a lovely, lovely shake out. Excuse me. Okay, hip width apart again. Plant, plant, plant. And we're just going to start waking up those hips a little bit. So we're going to go to the front. Just going to rotate here to the front. Lovely deep breath in. Just take this at whatever speed. If you're feeling you want to do one real twist per rotation, go for that. If you're feeling you want to go a little bit more zippy, then choose the zippiness, whichever suits your body. And then when you feel that side is cooked and done, then let's just go back in the opposite direction. Lovely. And then, team, have a go at the figure of 8. See if you can keep that really nice and smooth, that movement. Tucking, twisting. You might be feeling a nice stretch in the inner thighs. Just working that, pulling that breath in. Be aware of your feet. Try and keep your feet flat on the floor so that they're not rolling in. Just work into your hip area. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I think we're all girls tonight. We've got no boys with us this evening, which is fine. But this is really good again. Just releasing. We hang on and we keep everything in our hips. So let's again, if you're feeling it, just give those legs a little shake out. Nice little shake out. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Kick anything off that you don't want in your body anymore. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Starting to feel much lighter already. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so our next move is we're going to do some tree tonight. So we're just going to warm up into our tree pose. Just moving that back a little, tickle, tickle, tickle. There we go, wonderful. Okay, so for our tree this evening, we're just going to have a little warm up for tree. So we have done some of these already, but we're going to breathe in. And then as we exhale, we're just going to bring our leg up. Just starting us breathing in, making sure that your foot is imprinted on the floor and out. Breathing in, out as you come up. Decide where you want to put your hands. You may just want to put your hands out for a little bit of balance. So there were a few people requested tree, which was quite interesting because this is all about balance in the body. So it's about restoring balance to the being. So this is just starting to get us into a balanced space. Pop your arms out if you need to. Just nice and slowly. One more. And then we're going to come up and take the leg to the side and drop back down. Breathing out. And down we go. Oops, a little bit of a wobble there. Opposite side. Out to the side. Now see if you can keep your hips really facing forwards here. Plant that foot and just really slowly better to do it slowly with control and see if you can keep the rest of your body quite stable as well. See what happens with that. Wonderful. And then bring yourself back to standing. So hopefully you have managed to work on your balance and create some balance back into your body. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into tree. So we're going to start off with just a, I say just, we're going to start off with a basic tree. It's not just a basic tree, it is a basic tree pose. So inhaling, we're going to bring the leg and we're going to place it on the opposite. You can place it on the inside of your calf. You can place it further up if you choose to. Ideally, we're not going to place it on the knee because we don't want to be pressing on the side of that knee joint. So I would probably either pop it just below there. If you're a bit more wobbly and out of balance, you can still keep your toe down if you want to. And then if you prefer, you can pop it up here. Sometimes it's quite nice to lick your foot and pop it on your thigh because I find that my pants are always very, very skiddy. And I'm going to go low tonight. I need to go low tonight. So find your position and try and find your balance. Woohoo! Okay, if you need to extend your hands out, just make sure that your shoulders are really dropped down your back. Your breathing is nice and even. And just try and focus on one point to keep you nice and balanced. If you do drop down, that's absolutely fine. Just when you're ready, bring yourself back up into some sort of a balance, which it appears I have none of tonight on this. On this leg. No judgment, always team, remember, observation. We are just watching. We are observing ourselves. If you choose to take your hands into another position on the exhale, just take your hands into a different position. I've got the steeple going on here, just pointing up to the sky. And then when you're ready, breath in. Bring your foot down. Okay, well done, guys. Give yourself a little shake out. And let's have a go the opposite side. Okay, so this move was requested. Make sure your foot that's on the floor, your 4 points, imagine you've got 2 points at the front and 2 points at the back. Really splay that foot out, get a really nice solid base. And then breath in. Lift your foot and place that in position. And then hips forwards, breathing in, and just open out. Imagine the hips, the knee is coming back. You are nice and open. Wonderful. This pose tonight was requested by the lovely Jade Laforêt. She wanted to bring a little bit more balance. She's had a couple of little seizures. She wanted to bring a bit more balance back into her day, life, being. The lovely Lynn T, this is one for you, requested. And Glynis as well was keen to do tree. So breath in. Let's take our arms above our heads. So just observe your balance, team. Observe. Are you balanced? Are you perhaps a bit wobbly tonight? Interesting. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Okay, bring yourself down and just keep your legs out. Okay. Right, we're going to do another tree pose. We're going to do a slightly different one here. So we're going to see how how we prevail in a slightly more windy scenario. So let's go back to our first foot again. We're going to take a breath in, lift that leg and place it on the opposite leg. Get yourself into tree pose and then breathing in, arms up to the top, and we're just going to see if we can curve our body slightly over to one side. So see what happens just on the exhale, arms up above your head, opening that knee, and just on the exhale, see how that works for you. Can you just slightly bend your body? See, my balance is slightly better when I'm not going straight. So that's quite interesting. Just observe what's going on. And then breathing in and bring yourself back. Kick out your legs. Very, very interesting little exercises these. Just interesting to know. As always, there's no judgment at all. No judgment. No judgment at all. Okay, let's take a deep breath in this side. Exhale. Plant that foot wherever you need that foot to be planted. Breath in. Shoulders down the back. Open out that leg. Breathing in. Arms up. And curve. Woohoo! Curve over to opposite side. See how that feels in that position. Can you just curve your tree slightly? Just go as far as is comfortable for you and just for as long as is comfortable for you. And then when you're done, deep breath in and bring yourself back down. Okay, tree. Okay, we're going to do one more of those. Just give your legs a little shake out again. Shake out. And we're going to do a little twisty tree this time. So again, ground that foot in, really ground that foot into the earth. Breathing in, exhale. Bring your foot up. Find yourself in a comfortable position. Wonderful, relax into that. Okay, and then we're going to take our breath in. As we exhale, we're going to bring our hands up like so. And then just see if you can, on the exhale, just take your shoulders just slightly off center. See how that feels for you. I can really feel that leg now. It's been really working. And then stay in that position as long as you're feeling it. Twist yourself back round and relax and release. And we'll have a go the opposite side. So that's the twisty tree. See how balanced you are. Again, try not to lock out that knee when you go up. Just really, this is so good for your ankles, the strength in your legs and your calves, etc. So breathing in, on the exhale, bring that foot up to position. Just pop that where that's going to go. Breathing in, exhaling. Let's bring the hands up. Inhale again, extending that crown. And just taking that twist slightly off to the side there. And see if you have balance in that position. And just make a mental note, again, no judgment. how that works for you. Wonderful. Breathing in, back to the centre, back to the centre. Yes, wonderful. Well done, team. Tree, tree, tree. Okay, let's shake those lovely, lovely, lovely legs out. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we are going to do a little, yes, let's do this while we're up here. Okay, we're going to walk to the front of our mats. We're going to stand in a beautiful mountain pose as we start, and we're going to do a simple salute to the sun. This one has been requested by the lovely Caroline. So let's breathe in, shoulders up, roll the shoulders down the back. Okay, standing nice and tall. Feel the fronts of those quads really active. Pull the knees up, shoulders down the back, extend the crown up to the heavens. Just stand in that for a moment. Just stand. Allow that tree energy just to settle. And just tuck yourself. Make sure that you're not stuck out like so. Make sure you're in a nice neutral spine. And just take some lovely deep breaths in that position. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so we're going to breathe in. We're going to take our arms up above our head. Stretch up, just look up between your hands. And then just very gently, we're going to tip forwards, over we go. Place your hands down onto the mat, nice and gently in front of you. Again, don't lock out your knees. Take a breath in there. As you exhale, we're going to look up. Keep your hands on the floor. We're just going to look up. Inhale, head down. Place your hands on the floor, and we're going to step one of our feet back into a lovely, lovely runner's lunge. Take yourself back into a runner's lunge position. Next breath in. Take the other foot back to meet. You have two choices here. You can go onto your knees and your hands. You can go into a plank, or you can take yourself straight up into a downward facing dog, whichever suits you. Plank first, and then perhaps up now into downward facing dog. Okay, let's meet here in our first downward facing dog of the night. We're extending out the back of the legs. We're walking, 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 walking. Downward facing dog. This is one of Narinda's favourites. Blow, blow, blow. Okay, up onto your toes and drop yourself down into your heels, into your downward facing dog. Okay. Let's come back down into plank and gently, gently, gently drop ourselves onto the earth. Down, just let your forehead kiss the ground. Breathing in, engaging lower back, and just, you could even take your hands off the floor until you get to this point, and then just press into the floor. Lift your head, not too far, don't overstretch, overstrain. Up into a lovely cobra. Couple of breaths there. Wonderful, down we go. Down into cobra. We're going to tuck the toes. We're going to come back up onto the knees, and then we're going to press back up into a downward facing dog. Stretching, stretching, stretching out there. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful position. And then gently bring yourself back into that runner's lunge, looking forwards. And then we're going to bring that back foot back up to the front again. We're standing in a forward fold. We'll take a breath in, flat back, keeping your hands down. Dropping down again. On the next breath in, bend the knees, press, 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 press into the earth. Arms up to the ceiling and drop your hands down by your sides. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so we're going to repeat that on the opposite side in a moment. But before we do that, we're going to step our feet to a nice wide stance. Shoulders up and down the back. And this one is for the mighty Gavlar. This is a request that has come in. And this is, we're going to take ourselves into warrior. But before we do that, we're going to just do a little bit of goddess here. So let's just drop into our knees, quads here. Tuck in the booty. Make sure you're really nice and comfortable. Breath in. We're going to extend our arms up. So if you remember when we did the chakras, we're looking at that triangular pose. You can see you're creating that triangle. So what you're actually doing as you're breathing in this pose is you're inviting in the moon energy, the goddess energy, whether you be male or female, we're inviting in that goddess energy. Now, you may or may not be aware, we just had a lovely new moon on Friday night. So this really is the time to just set your intentions for this moon cycle. So I'm just going to invite you quietly, I will stop talking for a moment, just to hold your hands there, drop your shoulders down your back and just connect to yourself for a moment. And just draw in that beautiful moon energy and connect. You may find you have an intention just arising. Just be present in this moment. Pulling that energy in. Drop your arms anytime if you need to. Take your hands to the side, take the hand behind you. Just drop them onto your legs if you prefer. If you're comfortable there, stay in that position. And just have the intention. See that beautiful moon slither above you. Wonderful. And then we're going to go straight into warrior from this position. So we're going to inhale. We're going to take our hands out to the sides as we drop down. Inhale, bring that back foot in just by a quarter turn. Take that front foot out so it's facing away from you. You know this one so well. Roll your shoulders down your back. Nice and flat. If you were against a wall, you would be flat against that wall. You'd be open against that wall. The hips are opening. The hands are opening. They're the same height. They're being pulled apart. You're going to breathe in and just drop down into that front foot. If you need to just wangle those toes forwards, have a little wiggle, wiggle, wiggle until you're at that lovely right angle. And then deep breath in. And we're just going to turn and look over that front hand with that pure, clear intention. Send that out there. This one's for Gavlar. And Glynis, requested warrior. Breathing in, sending your intention. Wonderful. And then we're just going to breathe in. We're going to drop down the front elbow onto the front knee. We're going to take this hand, just come up and extend and look up under the arm. If that's too strong, if it's no good for your neck, just look down to the floor. That's absolutely fine. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And then breathing in when you're ready. Press into that front knee. Bring yourself up again. Heel toe your feet together. Bring yourself up to a standing position. Shake out your arms. Shake out your legs. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. If you're feeling a little shimmy or a shake, if you've released anything, just shake it off anytime. Just listen to whatever your body needs. Great stuff, guys. Fabulous. Okay, let's repeat the same on opposite sides. So we're dropping ourselves down. Wonderful. Breath in. Taking that back foot just in by a quarter turn. Breathing in, front foot out. Shoulders down the back, opening. Look at how open your body is. Wonderful. It's flat against the wall. Breath in, and you're just going to drop down. That knee is going to come over that center toe. You're opening out. Imagine someone's got hold of each of your hands. Breathing in, drop down more if you want to. Turn, look over that center hand. Where are you headed? What is your intention? Send it out to both sides of the universe. Open, open. Wonderful. Breathing in. And just drop that elbow down onto the knee. Bring the hand up over the head. And just looking up to the sky. Opening, opening, opening. Really strong. So good for strengthening this. Don't forget to breathe, guys. Really draw that breath in. Remember, everything we do, any extension, any bend, anything is on an exhale. So breathing in. Exhale, pressing into that foot. Bringing yourself up. Heel toeing those feet. Dropping those shoulders down the back. And just kicking, kicking, kicking out. Okay, let's step to the opposite end of the mat, guys. And we're going to go again, breathing in, arms up. Over we go. Down into a forward bend. Breath in. Exhale, looking up. Wonderful. Breathing in, stepping that front foot back. We're taking ourselves into a lovely runner's lunge this side. Breathing in. Join the feet together. Either meet me in plank. Make sure you're doing the correct plank. Go onto your hands and knees if you would sooner. And then when you're ready, take yourself up into a downward facing dog. Up onto the toes. Drop down into the heels, pressing back. Anytime, team, knees or into child pose is absolutely fine. Just go with whatever is feeling right for your body. Breathing in, releasing in this position. How wonderful. Stretching out the back of those beautiful legs. Breathing in, stepping back up into your runner's lunge. Oh, we haven't done, ignore that. Sorry, downward facing dog. Drop yourself down onto your forehead. Breathing in. Engaging that lower back and just gently bringing yourself up into cobra. And then when your back runs out of the strength, you need to press into your hands just to bring yourself up. Shoulders away from the ears, extending, shining that heart forwards, breathing in. Lovely, couple of breaths there. Lovely, down we go, rolling, rolling, rolling down. Hands either side of your chest, tucking those toes in, dropping yourself. If you want to come up via your knees, fab, and I will meet you in downward facing dog. Or drop yourself back into child. See how you're feeling. This is your practice. Do whatever feels right for your body. Lovely extension in the back of those legs, stretching out through the shoulders. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Gentle breath in, and then step that foot forward. Bring yourself up into that runner's lunge. Press into that back foot. Bring your second foot forwards, bending forwards into a lovely, lovely forward fold. Breath in there. Breathing out, flat back. Breath in again, down we go. Pressing, bending the knees, pressing those feet into the floor. Arms up to the sky. Bring yourself down. Shoulders down your back. Extending your crown to the heavens. And just let that energy settle in that position. Close your eyes. Just let that energy settle wherever you are. Okay. Wonderful. And then we're just going to step back. We're going to step to a wide-footed stance. Just going to drop down onto this side on the out breath, breathing in, just dropping down on the opposite side, breathing in, dropping down, come to the center and just let yourself hang to the center. We're going to drop our knees onto the floor and bring ourselves onto all fours. So just take yourself down onto the floor, onto all fours. Okay, fabulous. So kneeling position. Down on all fours on the mat. If you need to roll the mat and just pop that under your knees, give yourself a little bit more support, go for it. Okay, we have a lovely request here from, again, this one was from Glynis. So breathing in, drop the belly down to the floor. And then as you exhale, we're going to do some cat-cows. We're going to breathe out, pull the belly in, and we're going to roll that lovely, pressing the head, shoulders away from the floor, pressing into the hands, really curling that back. Breathing in, and going the opposite way. We're doing this lovely cat-cow stretch. Extending, lift the head, tip the booty. Breathing out, reverse. In you go. Do this at the rhythm of your breath, however your body needs it this evening. Breathing in. And out we go. Wonderful. In we come. And just come to a nice flat back position. Okay, this one's for Joe. Let's do the peanut butter shuffle. Okay, you are a spoon. You are a spoon in the jar of life, in the jar of peanut butter. And you are scraping every single last morsel out of the side of that jar that you can get, that you can squeeze out. You're just exploring around that jar, making sure that you're getting all of that yumminess. You're scooping out all of that yumminess, whatever it might be, whether it be Marmite, jam, honey. Could be really sweet for you this evening, who knows? Really scooping around that jar. And then when you feel you've scooped as much as you can, go back the opposite way and have another little scoop around. Scooping around that jar. Now, if you feel you want to scoop a little bit lower, press your hands and just explore slightly lower. So taking that booty round, down we go. And then if you feel you want to explore higher, exactly the same thing. Breathing in. If you need to go back the other way, really let your body rock and roll. Wonderful. And then when you've scooped all the goodiness and all the yumminess out of that, open your knees to hip width apart and just drop your bottom onto the floor. Extend your hands out in front of you and drop your forehead down onto the earth. And draw that energy, draw that life force, that prana in through your nose and into your body. And I'm hoping and praying that your body by now should be really buzzing with energy. Really, really buzzing. Just notice what's going on with your body. If you want to bring your hands in, put your hands behind you. Whatever child pose is comfortable for you. Make a fist. Rest your forehead on your hands if that's more comfortable. Just tap into that beautiful love cavern. Just tap into your being. Yeah. Wonderful. Okay, beauties. So deep breath in, back onto all fours again. And we're going to just twist our feet behind us, if this is humanly possible for you, if that works for you. And we're just going to take ourselves back onto our seat. So bring yourself back into a seated position. So a lovely sitting position there. Okay. The only one I've missed tonight is the pivot. I'm meant to do the pivot and we skipped that one. So that was one of Jill's requests there. So I do apologise. Glynis' request was the cat cow. So we did that. We did Joe's. Brilliant. But we're going to do Jill's other request here now. Right. Brilliant. Wonderful. Okay. So breathing in, drop your shoulders down your back. Just sitting nice and tall for a moment. Wonderful. And then you're going to just shuffle yourself down the mat if you need to. If you have a strap to hand, fabulous. If you don't, you can use just your hands or your trouser leg. And we're just going to take ourselves down into a prone position. Okay, bring your feet up so that they are at right angles to your body. This is another request of Glynis's. Arms out to the side, hands facing up. And we're just going to loosen off that back. So we're going to let our feet drop to one side, hand drop to the opposite side. And just hang 10 there. Really inviting that breath. Inviting that lovely languishing stretch. Breathing in. Head one side, knees opposite side. Just relaxing into that position. Really releasing down. Just relaxing, releasing, and letting it all go. Wonderful. And then when you're ready, bring yourself up so that your feet are flat on the floor. And we have option. This is option station now. So you have lots and lots of different choices here. This is your shout, whichever feels good to you. So we can either take a strap and we can bring our feet up and we can rest them directly above us like so. If you don't find that quite as comfortable as actually shimmying over to a wall and having your feet up the wall, then you can go for that. While you're in that position, if you're feeling you want to open your legs out and just have your feet sort of hanging and open, if that feels good to you, stretching your inner thighs, go for that. Whether you be up against the wall, whether you just be, if you haven't got a strap, you can maybe grab hold of your trousers and do that. Just grab hold of your yoga pants or whatever, just supporting those legs, opening up, whatever feels right to you. Or if you're feeling it, my beauties, and you want to take yourself up into a shoulder stand, then please go for that. And I will just talk you through that. Okay, if you want to, if you're happy just in your extended leg position, stay in that. If you're happy against the wall, stay in that. If you want to have a go at a shoulder stand, probably the easiest way to get into it is to bring yourself up to a seated position. Nice deep breath. Roll yourself back and just place your hands behind your back. Sorry, I've got to get my microphone out. I lost it. Hang on. Okay, let me do that again without losing my microphone. Okay. Hands behind your back, hands into your back. And then very gradually, see if you can walk your elbows close together, pressing your hands into your back, extending your legs up to the ceiling. And breathe. I find it very difficult to talk in this position as well. And then again, if you want to, take your feet into, join your feet together, take your feet up, open your legs if that feels nice. Split your legs, scissor. Just take yourself into whichever position is working for you. If you're happy and comfortable, even just with your knees up, then just go into that position. Just whatever feels nice to you. Give your ankles a lovely little twist round. The other thing Jill said was not pigeon. She said any position but pigeon. So we haven't done pigeon tonight. I will take that into account. Brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Okay, my beauties, absolutely fantastic. Bring your feet back down onto the floor, whatever position you have come from. We just have one last little twist just to loosen off the back. Hands out to the side. Deep breath in, knees to one side, head to the other. We just do that lovely back opening twist just to finish off. To one side, just relaxing into that. Breathing in. Bringing your legs up. Down to opposite side. Again, just releasing, releasing, releasing. Releasing, releasing, releasing. Bring yourself up to center. If you have all of your paraphernalia to hand, I suggest that you stay laying on the floor, stretch your legs out, cover yourself with your blanket, and take yourself into a nice, relaxing position for meditation. If you would like to keep your legs up the wall, if you feel more comfortable in that position, then go for it. Just listen to your body, whatever feels good for you. If you need to sit up, equally as good. So just get yourself into a lovely, lovely position. Thank you for joining the DJ set this evening, our DJ yoga set.